What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fireflies Forever. And you will notice that the smooth talking sounds of Jeff Watson aren't going to be here with us tonight. Unfortunately, he is still suffering from COVID and not getting all that much better. Well, he was feeling a little better the other day, but now he's kind of back under the weather again. So a little bit of ups and downs. But as you can see, we've got, of course, Chris is here with us as he is every week. And we have Tazzy joining us tonight. It's been a long time since Tazzy's been on one of our streams. What's up, man? How are you?
Baseball.
Baseball.
We are very close to the end, though. So you, excuse me. Once September hits, you'll see me a lot after that. A lot. That will be a time for. I think it's Bound for Glory's around that time. So. Around that time, we'll be back going.
Yeah, we've got we're hitting a stride now where we're going to get a lot of the pay-per-views and stuff like that happening, and the end of the year stuff coming on. But yeah, it's crazy. It's almost the end of the summer, which is nuts. It went really, really quickly. Almost we're getting on close to the end of August now. So yeah. Crazy how fast it's gone. Chris, man, how are you doing?
Doing good.
Good to hear. And as always, we've got some people in the chat out there. Welcome to all of you. I am going to look into here and just see. I'm going to pop this up real quick because I know I'm going to forget about it if I don't. So there you go. Please make sure if you're new to the channel, you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button, smash the like button, please, for us while you're listening to the show tonight or whenever you decide when you are coming on or leaving, whatever. And also make sure to hit that notification bell to be notified about when we have future content. Our future content after this will be on Thursday night. Of course, TNA. Coming off last week's amazing show that we had there. We'll see how Jeff's doing. If not, it will be me, myself, and flying solo. But we'll see how Jeff is come Thursday night, and hopefully he can join us for that. But TNA has been great, so you don't want to miss an episode. Obviously tonight, NXT is a must-watch almost as well if you're a TNA fan, but just if you're a wrestling fan in general, so much stuff going on NXT. So make sure you check that out. Tazzy should be you have that stream tonight, right?
Yep, 7:45.
There you go. So head on over to Tazzy's after this and check out NXT tonight. And then should be back next Sunday night for Between the Ropes, as long as Jeff is feeling better as well. So, okay. All right. As we always do on this show, we're going to start off with our memories. You can see up on screen. Of course, this show is and always will be dedicated to Jodie because this is, this was her thing and Jeff's thing. And that's why we're doing this, to continue on with Jodie's memory and tributize her in this show and talk about all the stuff that's going on, of course, with the Wyatt Sicks and all that good stuff. So, Chris, you have supplied us with some memories here, and
yep.
What have we got here? I'll start going through them one by one here.
So I was looking through a drawer the other day, just kind of cleaning out some stuff, and found a few things that I had given Jodie over the years. I don't know if she ever shared it with you guys, so I figured it'd be cool to show off some of the stuff that I had got for her over the years, different various gifts for birthdays or Christmas and things like that. So this one it's an actual piece of the mat from the SummerSlam match against Finn Balor where the Fiend debuted. He signed it. They cut up the ring, and I think they only did like 199 of them or something. So it shows on the back of it. But yeah, that was a pretty cool piece. Definitely some Bray history right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. His signature stuff's really cool, and a lot of times it can be very expensive and hard to find. So yeah, that's really cool. I like how it's signed on it almost looks like, it almost looks like a weird, almost kind of board that he signed that on. That's really kind of neat. I like that. Very cool. All right, and we have this up next here. That must be the other side of the card.
Yeah, it's the back of that one. Yeah, where it shows that we only made 199 of those, cut up the ring mat, and had him sign them.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, that's very neat. Authentic 2019 SummerSlam event used mat replica. Okay, well that makes sense. That's what he signed it on, was the piece of the mat.
Yeah, it's a piece of the mat that he had the match on.
Wow, that's cool. That's very cool. All right, coming up next, we have this.
And this one was even more limited one. They only made 50 of that one. So that's actually a piece of his shirt. Like you can see that he's wearing a black shirt. They cut the shirt up into pieces that he wore, and they had to have him sign the card there that has it on attached to it.
Wow, that's awesome. So that's actual piece of the shirt. That's cool.
Yep.
Wow, that's really awesome. That's neat. And yeah, that's very limited piece. 35 out of 50. Only 50 of them made. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's just the back of that showing what that is.
Yeah, you can.
Piece of his shirt. Jodie thought that was so cool that she had a piece of Bray's shirt.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, look, that's really neat. You know, they kind of. I always wondered, like with stuff like this, who is the person who actually cuts? You know what I mean? Somebody's gonna go through that shirt and just slice that all up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what you think about some of that. Everything like that. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, these are things that will. I mean, I would imagine. Look, I remember looking up some of the stuff that I have, some of Bray's stuff, you know, over the years, the Fiend stuff and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff has shot up in price.
I bet.
Yeah, like usually
I have a signed picture too of all three members of the original Wyatt family too. Like I bet I'm sure that's worth a lot now. Not that I'm ever going to get rid of it, but that's another piece that I really like that we have too.
Yeah, like, and I mean that's the thing. Like when someone is gone, it's, you know, you don't, they become even more, things become even more valuable. I know that what was that the Burn Fiend mask, which I made fun of all the time because it looked terrible when it was all red color. That thing is now selling for like $400, $500, $600, which is insane.
I bet.
But yeah, I mean, anything limited like this can become a lot of money. But yeah, that's really cool to see. Very cool. This next one, I got a little bit of a preview of this. Where do you see this, guys?
Yeah, I've never seen anything like this again. I bought this off of eBay just because I thought it was so cool. I never, ever knew that WWE had ever made anything like this. Still have never seen anything else like it to this day. So it's a pretty cool thing I'm definitely going to hang on to. Like, and it's funny because it's not related. You might think it'd be, you know, related to Swamp Mash, but it's not. This actually came, you know, before that. This is his cult leader Bray look with the apron and stuff, and it's funny that he's throwing John Cena to an alligator on the front of it. But
throw him to the gators, man. And then there's a sign, I think, in back of that a little bit, says "Keep Away," and you can see the lantern hanging up on a hook up on the top right, up on there. And you see the roof on the other side. That's really cool. Somebody in the chat, the clown, says he has it. There's an add-on that has Rowan and Harper in it. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to
that is really neat. You can see the other side of the box. John Cena.
Yeah, it shows a couple other ones that they have there, but I've never seen them before. The Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, that's really cool. Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton. Yeah, that's pretty neat, man. You can see them. You see Bray holding the lantern up in the right corner, and then Cena falling off that wooden log going into the alligator's mouth. Just about.
Yeah, it looks like, I think it's like a little trap door or something.
Yeah,
I don't know if I don't know. Part of me wants to take it out and actually build it and display it, but then part of me wants to keep it in the box just because it's so cool and rare. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But
it's kind of cool. I mean, obviously, it's not Lego actually, the company, but it's very close.
Official WWE though.
Yeah, it is a WWE official product. It has the foil thing up on the top right. It's by the company must be called C3 or Construction. That's on the bottom, the logo on the corner. That's really neat, though. That's I have never seen that
either. I love the little Bray figure too. It's just so cool, and it has
and the rocking chair. Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. I have never seen that. That's really cool. Very cool collector's piece. Very cool. Anything else, Chris, that you have to share?
No, just like I said, I found those pieces and didn't know if she'd ever shared them with everybody, so I thought it'd be cool to share those.
Cool. Yeah. Cool, Tazzy. I'm sure you've got some Bray merch sitting around. I know we were all doing Bray stuff and collecting Bray stuff over the years.
All over the place. More and more of that stuff is in storage, but yeah, man. the shirts was the main ones.
Yeah.
Like those shirts, like I think I have one, the the one I normally wear when on Mondays. It's the rabbit, the full rabbit one with the little eyes. I actually wore it to the stadium one day, and everybody looked to me like, why you have a demonic rabbit coming in the stadium? Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I was like, and then I told her who it was. They're like, oh yeah, I remember that. They remember. A lot of those are wrestling fans too, because that's what they do on their spare time to get away from baseball. But yeah, it's a lot of those. Like even the pop figures got those. It's a lot of those, man. I'm still trying to collect them, and I'm still trying to collect a lot of the Undertaker ones too. But yeah,
that's awesome. How about, who remembers this guy?
Oh, yeah. we have one of those that every Christmas it comes around and does various naughty things.
Yes.
And Logan wakes up every morning and finds him and sees what he did.
Mine used to always attack the actual elf on the shelf, which didn't make my wife very happy. I also have this is sitting up there. If it's gonna show through my stupid thing here, probably not. Now let me get that off there. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get that background off there so I can show everybody what it is. If I can figure out how to do this, get that off. There we go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's the Rob Schembechler Burn Fiend piece. He does amazing work, and it's really, really, really cool. As you can see, really, really neat piece. But yeah, we've all gotten cool merch. That's really cool, though. I've never seen those pieces that Chris showed. That's really awesome. I love that. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to. We're going to go to our next thing here. And this, of course, is our artwork showcase. This is one of the things that, of course, Jodie loved to do on the show. She had a lot of art that was always sent to her on Twitter. And please make sure that you do that. All the people who are out there that are watching the show or listening to it, please make sure you send along the artwork. You can send it to Insiders DMs. I will always get those there. You can send them to insidersprowrestling at gmail.com. You can send them in other ways. I know some of you DM Jeff and stuff like that too. But yeah, send us all that artwork. We would love to continue that tradition and continue to showcase that stuff. And we do have some things tonight to show. So let's go to that. There it is. Have you seen artwork that we should spotlight? You see submit artwork to Insiders Wrestling Pod at Gmail, or like I said, you can always. I mostly watch Insiders Twitch, or Twitter, so you can at me on there, or you can send it over through there, or like tag us on Twitter, or you could just send them over to the DMs as well. All right, so our first piece this week, this is from Howdy Sketch. Howdy does a lot of amazing things and a lot of amazing artwork. He even did those new action figures and stuff that we saw on here that he's made. Amazing artwork here. And here you've got Joe Gacy. So, Chris, what do you think of Howdy's Joe Gacy?
That's really cool. I love the Howdy laughing down in the corner.
Yeah, right. That is very cool. And then, of course, the rocking chair at the lamp up in the right-hand corner, up on the top. Tazzy, what do you think?
This is very, very good. I mean, just a Joe Gacy picture. By the way, don't be afraid to actually send me some of these too, so I can just, if you guys notice, I'm doing a wall in the back behind me. So I do not mind putting a lot of stuff out if it's good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if it's not good, I'm not gonna put it up. This is good. We don't lie here. We don't ever lie. So yeah, this is very good. Yeah, shout out to Joe Gacy. Actually changed his career, and this is awesome. I like this.
Yeah, very cool. He always does great stuff. Jeff's in the chat. Hey, Jeff. He says, send in artwork, artists. We want to see it. And someone asked him, feel better. How's he feeling? And he says, like garbage. That sucks.
Jeez.
Sorry to hear that, man. All right. The next one we've got here, this is, of course, Brittany K. We all have seen Brittany Kay's work over the years, of course, on this show and on Abby's. And this is a really, really cool sketch from Brittany. I like it. It's got, I like the lines in between make it look like, I mean, you could, some people say shattered glass, like an image like that, or it almost kind of even looks a little bit like spider webs, but I think that kind of stuff makes it look old.
It almost looks like an old creased picture.
Yes, like a magazine picture, or yeah, exactly. And I think it makes it look. I like that. It's like the worn look makes it look like worn and stuff like that. So I really dig that. The details are awesome. The eyes, the black around the eyes, the lines in the forehead, the beard, and everything like that. So yeah, I think this is great. Kazi, what do you think?
This is you know, it's crazy just to see not Joe Gacy, I'm sorry. It's just weird to see him like this because, you know, where he had that regular, you know, slick back hair, and now he has the braids in his hair. It's like you have to take a double take it to see if it's actually healed. And this is great. I like this. I like this too, with the eye black and everything. Everything's creative in here. I like it.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's such a good look for Dexter Lumis too.
Yes,
awesome.
The blackened eyes and everything like that. Yeah, he just looks nasty, and then with the dreadlocks and stuff like that. Very, I agree. Very, very good look for him. All right, we got another one here. Oh, nope, that's going to do it. Okay, so that is our artwork for the week. So again, send those out. I know there's a lot of people who share them on Twitter. And if you want them shouted out on here, make sure that you send us your artwork. We're always looking for that. All right. So we have, of course, and you know, this is something else that Jodie did a lot of course, with Caleb Johnson on the show and talk about music. So basically what we do is Tazzy. I mean, you haven't been around. So any good music that you've heard lately or listened to lately that you want to give a shout out to?
I think the last great album that actually came out is probably that Eminem album. That's probably the last great album.
It's really good.
And you know me, as you know, I'm a DJ. I have to make sure I listen to all kinds of music, no matter how terrible it is. Hip hop. Yeah, there's not a lot. There's some good R&B music that's coming out. You guys will hear it once I'll tell you once it comes out. But yeah, man, there's not a lot, not too much.
I'm such a I love music. I always have. I've grown up on music. My parents always listened to it and stuff like that. And I am it's so funny because I got into a discussion with my wife coming home from my daughter's shower on Saturday, and we were talking about the different styles of music because she had the radio on, and I'm like, I'm cringing, and I'm like, this is awful. I'm like, it's so like a lot of them, and it's funny because I've grown into my parents, right? Because my parents, when they would hear my music, would say the same thing, like, oh, it's terrible. But yeah, I know a guy who owns a recording studio, a music studio, and so he's been doing it for a long time, and I had the pleasure of kind of sitting in on a couple of like things, watching him do stuff, and it's fascinating, like how they put albums and stuff together, and CDs and the music in the studio is just, it fascinates me. But yeah, you know, he even mentioned that like if you listen to a lot of the new pop artists, a lot of it is instrumentless, like it's literally backing tracks, and then they just sing. And he said, so it's almost like as if anybody coming up in talent can sing, then you got it pretty easy because you're just putting backing tracks to the vocals, you know, not necessarily learning how to play instruments and stuff like that. And then we got into a little conversation about how rock and roll is kind of dead. And when you look at it, it kind of is. Like there's not a lot of guitar in music anymore. There's not a lot of drums. There's not a lot of, and where you're hearing it is a lot of the country artists. The country and Western artists now are doing that stuff, which is crazy. So a lot of changes to the music business, and that's why I still got my iPod with all this music on it from 10, 15 years ago. So yeah, man. But
one of my most used playlists on my Apple Music, I made like a 90s alternative playlist. It's got like over 500 songs on it. I listen to that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thrilled to hear, and I have a friend of mine who's a big fan of Nine Inch Nails. I was thrilled to hear that they're doing the soundtrack for Tron, the new Tron movie that's coming out.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, because obviously Daft Punk did the last one, and that was really popular, probably more popular than the movie was. And then so when I heard that, I'm like, damn, that's pretty awesome. So yeah, that of course 90s, when you're talking about 90s, that was a big, they were a big thing in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
So really cool. So cool. All right. Well, again, guys, if you ever have any spotlights, or I don't know, maybe you guys know somebody who's a musician, I always shout out my friend on Twitter, Elevate the Sky. Check him out. He does retro synthwave, they call it. He's out in California. Check him out. Very, very cool guy. Lets me use I use this theme, one of his songs on my other podcast that I do. So check that out if you're into that kind of thing, with of course a lot of keyboard and a lot of drum, synth, and all that kind of stuff. Check it out. So but if you have anyone you know or you want a spotlight on this, let us know, and we will include you. All right. So let me see here. We've got a lot of people out there, so I'm going to just say hello to all of you and not go through all that because it's probably going to take me too long. So let's get into it, and let's talk about last night, of course, on Monday Night Raw. So, all right. So we didn't get much last night on Raw. In fact, yours truly here missed it. I was out of the room. And then I came back and I'm watching Raw and I'm like, what? We're not getting anything for that. And then I put it out on Twitter. I'm like, what? Nothing for the Wyatt Sicks. And then somebody's like, oh, there was a video, you dummy. And then I went back and I found it. So, and then I watched it. But yeah, we pretty much just got this video. So let's talk about what we saw in this video. And of course, it is Bo Dallas. And he's in what looks to be like where we kind of all theorize that little kind of like the Firefly Funhouse again. But he has that TV set in front of him and he's getting videos and stuff back. But there's no Howdy in there talking to him. Nobody else in the room with him. It's just him. And then, of course, he's talking a lot about the moments that they had in Baltimore, and how things are moving along and things like that, and one of the most interesting things I find, and I'll turn this over to you guys, and you can let me know what you thought about this as we go through some slides here, and we could kind of this is stuff here that we used to see in Bray's videos, the double pyramid thing and everything like that. We used to see these clips when Bray would have a lot of his videos, and of course you see Bo. And there he is there looking at the TV screen and seeing all of these kind of different images. But the one thing that really got me in this was the last line we heard from Bo. It was "My life for you, my life for you." And he kept repeating it over and over and over again. There is a movie, and for the life of me, I was trying to think of it all night last night after I saw this, and even through today, and I can't remember it. And "My life for you," the person kept repeating that. And I don't know, but I'm going to start with Chris and then we'll go to Tazzy. Chris, what did you think of this video? Obviously, it seems like it was a little bit of a filler. A lot of people were wondering, well, what's next for them? And we even mentioned on this last week, like, is he done with Chad Gable? Well, they didn't interfere with the match that the tag team had last night. American Made had. So there was nothing with that. And of course, Chad wasn't in the building, but he did mention them. And he did kind of lead into that a little bit. So Chris, what did you think of this? What stood out for you?
Well, first off, I haven't seen the movie, but I saw people talking about what you were on Twitter. I think they said it was the Stephen King's The Stand.
Yes.
That was from.
That was it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I heard some people talking about that.
Yes, Trash Can Man kept repeating that. Yes. Oh, thank goodness. Yes.
I really liked it. I do want to talk about something that I saw a lot on Twitter, and I knew it was going to happen. After this, that I saw a lot of people complaining. That's all we got. Why weren't they on there? Blah 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 blah. I really liked it. I like that. I don't think they need to be on there every week. I think it would have been fine if we got nothing. Like, I mean, it's cool that we got a video, but I don't want to see them get overused. I mean, I feel like that was a problem before with some of Bray's stuff and the Fiend, especially that it got overused, and I feel like it's better to use it more sparingly. If there's something that makes sense, do it. But if not, don't force it. And I think that it keeps them more mysterious. It keeps them more unpredictable if we don't have, them on there every week, or if we just get a little video tease like this. So I really liked it. I thought that was a good thing to do, especially with Chad being out of the country anyway. Like, it didn't fit to have them do anything. So, but they still were able to carry on the story. He mentioned that he's not done with them. And then Bo teased that there's, something big coming. So it still furthered the story in a good way, I thought.
Yeah, I would agree with that point. Look, a lot of this stuff when we were getting it before, right? A lot of the complaints were coming then, and this is going to show you. We're going to get complaints all the time from people no matter what. Yeah. But what they used to complain about before is they're force feeding us this. We're getting too much. Bray's in the fun house every single Monday. We're getting more and more and more and more, and then we're getting matches. There's too much, and sometimes too much is a bad thing, because then you get bored. You start to wonder, okay, keep people on their toes a little bit and not exactly going to know what is the next part of this. So Tazzy, what were your thoughts on this video we got?
Yeah, I agree with Chris. The best stories. Let's take this all the way back to the 90s. You guys remember when The Undertaker was around? He wasn't on every single week.
Nope.
because he'll get played out. I think that's the one thing Vince McMahon did do, was like, hey, let's keep him off TV for a couple weeks and then bring him back. Keep him off a couple weeks, bring him back. It makes it fresh. It makes it fresh. You don't see it in 2 weeks. You're like, you get more excited about the next thing that's coming out. Like, I agree with that. As for the video we got yesterday, I was all for it. I wasn't expecting to be out. I was probably expecting just a video like we just saw. I don't want them, like before, to continue with the whole every week thing. And now that you actually have somebody that actually understands, I said that really loud, that understands, like, hey, I got other people that wants to be on TV. We can actually spread this around. We don't have to have everybody on TV at the same week. No, we can actually just put them on next week, and then and so forth and so forth. It's like, unless you're on SmackDown, you got to be on there, because it seems like there's not a lot of people on there. But anyway, I like this, and I know we're about to talk about this. I'm talking about the ending part, the quote, and I know we're going to talk about that, about what is coming up next, because this is very intriguing of what's coming up next. So I'm bring it back to Joe, because I know we're about to talk about that now.
Yeah. So, like I said, the most intriguing part, I think, of this thing to me was that quote at the end, and I'm glad everybody cleared that up for me, or that would have bothered me forever. But yeah, like the Stephen King, the Stand quote. And I don't know if you ever saw The Stand, but it's basically a God versus devil kind of a story. You had a group of bad people, a group of good people. It was like an apocalyptic disease that killed a lot of people. That, go figure, right around the COVID time. And then there's a group that formed who were the kind of the good guys group were under I forget what the old woman's name was. And then there were a bunch of them that were out in Las Vegas that were the bad ones. And of course, the bad ones were being run by basically the devil. And then there was a person that the devil got on his side named Trash Can Man, who was an arsonist and just burned up things. And he was the one who would repeat that line, "My life for you." Basically, and in that context, it was, I'm giving my life for you. I'll do whatever you ask me to do, and I'll give my life for you. So, yeah, I'm going to start with Tazzy on this, because this, I think, is very interesting. Like, what are your thoughts on this? Like, do you think it's a similar concept to what, that the Stephen King quote is, or do you think it means something altogether?
Probably altogether, because they do stuff that's similar to movies, but not everything. Right. The quote is very interesting. It's like one of those things. It's like, what do you mean by that? And this is why I like this story, because we just don't know.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the way that I'm literally sitting there doing the whole stream, and I'm like sitting here like, and I'm basically going like this, like, what just happened here? What are we doing? Like, huh? I love it, but I'm like, it's what could it be? It could be another person coming. Although he did talk about a door too, so could it be possible? It could. There's two people that was rumored to be in this group that's not there yet. Is it possible that we get one of those two? One is training, one is out and about. I think Brian actually said that he don't want to actually be in the. Yeah, I think I remember him saying.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did say something like that, like where he was too, like it was a little too close and personal for him.
Mm-hmm.
And that and like I said, I guess I would imagine that some people might just be sad doing this a lot, that it would just make them too upset to do this. So yeah. But sorry to cut you off, Tassie. Go ahead.
Oh no, you did. So so that would mean there's only probably one other person who. Let's get the elephant out of the room. It's Alexa coming. It's Alexa Bliss coming. Is she part of the story? I think she's going to come regularly first, and then it's going to be continue what happened right before everything stopped when she got pregnant and everything just went bad. That's going to be a possibility, and then she finally gets recruited. It'll be one of those things. How that's going to happen, I don't know.
Yeah. Chris, we talked about this a little bit on a prior show. And we know, look, every single time that these guys are on TV, you're going to have a bunch of people out on Twitter that are saying, where's Alexa? Where's Alexa? It's just constant. And I've said it. I don't know that. I don't. And I know that, I said it when I said it before. This might make a lot of people upset, but I don't know, at least right now, that she fits into this story.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because I go back to what happened at WrestleMania in that disaster of a return for the Burn Fiend when he turned normal, and what she did to him. And that's, that was part of the story. Bray mentioned that and stuff like that. It's not like that was just forgotten about. So she betrayed him in essence. And so I don't think that she can just waltz right in and come back and pick up kind of before that, right where she left off. And besides that, I don't know that I think a lot of the things that people say, Chris, and you could tell me if you agree with this, a lot of people I think that talk about Alexa mention her with the doll and all that kind of stuff. And that's when things got kind of hokey, right? With the fire throwing and the lily and all that kind of stuff got a little weird. So I don't really know that with this version of this group and how we mentioned on last week's show that they're trying to be a little more grounded in reality, right? Like they didn't do anything supernatural at all in the ring. And in fact, yeah. So I don't know, but Chris, yeah, what do you think? And then of course, tell me what your thoughts were on that, on what he's saying, my life for you.
So I feel like, that whole thing after Bray left, the whole deal with him and Vince and everything, I feel like they went down this tangent just trying to keep things going. That, like you said, that's where it kind of got weird with Alexa and stuff. So I don't really feel like they are going to want to go back down. I feel like that's better left in the past to leave it where it was. I mean, maybe they reference the WrestleMania thing at some point if they end up attacking her or whatever. But like we said, that I feel like that's the only thing that makes sense for her being involved with them at all is if they attack her. Like you can't just forget and pretend that didn't happen. That doesn't make any sense. And I mean, I made it clear on my thoughts on it. I don't like the idea of her overshadowing. I don't like the idea of her overshadowing now, and she's not even involved. Like. I want to see them do what they're doing. They're telling an awesome story. We don't need it.
Yeah.
I would much rather see her just come back and do her old Little Miss Bliss gimmick and not be involved. So I think I would love to see that again. She was awesome. I'd love to see her hold another women's championship again. She was a great women's champion. I'd much rather see that. Like you said, most of the stuff she did, especially after he was gone, was really hokey and weird anyway. So
I agree.
That's my feelings on that. Going back to Bo, I really felt like the way they did that and like showing him and Howdy back and forth and stuff, I really feel like, I'm going to use the term here, he let Howdy in last night. Like we've kind of seen him, dancing around it before, him kind of being Howdy sometimes, but sometimes himself. I feel like last night we may have fully seen him give himself over to Howdy, and that's who he was talking to. He was saying, "My life for you," that he's going to let Howdy take over and be in control of him now, like we've seen Bray do with the Fiend before.
That's a great shout. And you can see up on the screen there with the captions.
And then we even saw a brief flash of him with as Uncle Howdy with the mask on and everything. So I feel like that could have been maybe what they're doing with that. He was just fully letting him in and embracing Howdy to do whatever Howdy wants to do.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a great shout because again, if we're talking, guys, that this is his funhouse, right? If this dark room, as you guys have mentioned on the show, and on times when I wasn't here, and times when I was, that this is his funhouse. This is his kind of like. And let me get to Jason's question here real quickly because he just said, "Can I ask 2 questions? Is Taylor Rotunda going to be a split personality character?" I think that this tells you yes, he is.
Yeah,
because we've seen him in the back, right, on Raw when he was there as Taylor Rotunda. We've seen him there talking to Adam Pearce. And then we've seen him come out and get beat up, of course, by American Made. And then, laughing in the ring and stuff like that. And the Wyatt Sicks came out to save him. And now, like Chris mentioned, I think that's a great shout. I think he's now back in that whatever this little fun house of his is. And now he's turning back into, and we might see this similar to, like Chris said, when we saw The Fiend, we might be getting this now to tell us that, now how he says here, my life for you, and then he says, there you are. So he gave himself over to the Howdy character completely. So the next time we may see him, he may be Howdy altogether. And the Bo part of him is gone, like the Fiend, when the Fiend would come out. So if Chad Gable, and they're still doing this, if he's in the back next week on Raw, I would think that he gets attacked by Uncle Howdy. Not maybe the Wyatt Sicks this time, but I think by Uncle Howdy. And look, we talked about this on last week's show, that maybe it's going to lead into a one-on-one with Bo and Chad Gable. So yeah, that's a great shout. Tazzy, what are your thoughts?
Brilliant. Yeah. So my prediction is Chad Gable versus Bo Dallas or Howdy, party for Bad Blood. That's a good month and so to get the storyline perfectly, and it'd be a great payoff. And then that part will end that story. That part in that part of the storyline to around War Games, which is perfect. Or shit, we got Halloween Havoc coming up, so I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked.
Yeah, why couldn't they appear on NXT, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm seeing. Probably, do I see them doing anything Monday? Yeah, I think probably just a little bit of something, but I think it's going to be a slow burn all the way until Bad Blood, because it's the first week in October, so they have plenty of time to actually get the storyline perfectly done.
Yeah, that's a great call out. I think that's true. And that, for your second question here, Jason, so split personality, no doubt. Yeah, absolutely, no doubt to that. Is there a 6th member of the Sixers at Wyndham Spirit? I think for right now, the Lantern is Bray, and I think Bray is the 6th member. And I'm sure the guys will agree. I think that that's the case right now. I don't know
that last night with him talking to Bray, and Bray. So we assume that was Bray's voice saying that you need to carry on the work, and he was saying he would. So I think that even more confirms that.
Now, I shared this with Jeff. I don't know for sure, and you guys can tell me this in the chat too, but I don't know for sure if this happened in the arena or if somebody just attached this to some of the photos that I was looking at. But the arena apparently was all dark, and then it came out, let him inside the arena. Again, I don't know if this is true.
That looks old. I've seen
Okay,
that.
it was that old. Okay, so
Yeah,
someone attached that
yeah.
from another time. Okay, that's what I was wondering. So,
Yeah.
okay, all right. So good stuff. And we got another question here from Mark. Let me talk about this one too. Going back to Alexa coming back, she does come back. How will this affect Nikki Cross? Do you think there would be a confrontation between Alexa and Nikki? Tazzy, go ahead.
That's part of what I was saying. Like, this is probably the perfect time that you will get her. It's probably because they have a connection. And she's kind of some like connection to everybody else too. So that make it out. I think it's kind of gonna be like more of a one-off thing. You might see her a little bit turn just a tad, but this is probably when you're going to see the goddess full time. I think this is perfect for her. I mean, she's probably still emotional because she was around Bray too, so she probably don't mind doing like a one-off and then continue on, because she's if I'm not mistaken, she said a couple years ago that she's getting to the end. And I'm not surprised we're doing the next 3 or 5 years that she's going to be like, okay, I'm done. Because, yeah,
absolutely. Chris?
Yeah, I could definitely see that angle if that's how they do it. Like we said, if she is going to get attacked, I mean, obviously Nikki would be the best person to do that, and they have a good history too to play off of. You know, they Alexa turned on Nikki years ago and turned her back on her when they were used to be good friends. So there's definitely that there if they want to explore that.
Yeah, I would think so. Like I was saying, that's what I would like to see. Obviously, when she does come back, and if she's the one, obviously it looks as if Dakota Kai is going to be one of the first people that Nikki might be going after. We saw some signs for that, the little Pluto symbol behind her. So who knows?
There was also a video that she posted on either on her Twitter or Instagram or something of her like backstage. She was just like talking about video games or something, messing with the controller, and it was playing the shatter, the one note thing behind her. But I did see though, that she's apparently going to be injured, is out on injury now for like 8
okay.
Yeah, about
so
8 to 10 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe that'll be something down the road, obviously, when she gets healthy and comes back. It would make sense with their storyline, right? If they're going after people who betrayed families, she certainly did that. And betrayed, of course, Bailey and her little family that they had there. So it would make a lot of sense. But obviously, if she's injured now, they would have to change plans around and stuff for that too. All right, let's see. Heather has somebody mentioned on another channel the lady who is the Good Prophet leader in the stand is Mother Abigail. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yep.
That was watch this movie. It sounds like
you never saw The Stand. Oh man,
no, I haven't.
There's 2 versions of it. One was a TV miniseries. The other was a remake that they just came out with. Very, very similar in story. Both of them are, except for the remake is a little more horrific, a little more scary because they could show more than they were able to show on TV. So I'd probably tell you, if you're going to watch it, to watch the remake. It should be out there. They ran it the same way. It was a mini series as well. I forget the Deanna, if you could in the chat, tell us where, or who is that mentioned about it. Tell us where Chris could watch that, because I can't remember what streaming service it's on. It might be HBO Max. It could be Max. I can't really remember, but I did watch it, and it was both of them. I enjoyed both of them. In fact, Molly Ringwald was in the original one on TV. So I enjoyed both of them. But yeah, I think that the newer one, the remake, was a little bit creepier. So interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Mother Abigail, absolutely. Okay, so let's see. We got a comment here from Craig. Might see a 4-way at Berlin. Nikki's going to strike soon because American Made has Ivy now. That's true. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Definitely see that happening too.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. Tazzy, what do you think about that one? Yeah, I mean, obviously Nikki could come to the forefront there, and now they have a woman in the faction now.
Yeah. Side note on that, congratulations for making Ivy Now's a threat now, because she looks like a straight pit bull now. So don't be shocked if
she
she's
looked
like,
mean.
yeah, don't be shocked if she's champion in the future. That's what they were trying to do at NXT, but it didn't work out. So stay tuned. Yeah, I could definitely see that. That makes a lot of sense, because now you got all four, and then you can have, because I'm still waiting for. I know they're not going to have Nikki Cross just be there just to be Nikki Cross. I mean, sorry, so they're having Abigail. It's a little digger, but yeah, I can see her being again in the ring. So this is probably the time. The rumor has it that it's probably Bash in Berlin. Yes, that should be. I definitely can see that. Definitely can see that because that will push into the next PLE, which actually will be Bad Blood. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I think that's I think that's a great shout out. It's certainly possible that that could happen. Where, and I got to tell you, I'm a little nervous about Nikki wrestling. Got to tell you.
I see a spider walk.
Yeah.
That for sure is one of the things that we haven't seen anyone do yet, because we all know Bray used to do it, right, from the other corner of the ring. No one has
just do the backwards thing. Yeah, nobody's done the full spider walk yet.
No one has done it yet. If anyone does, it's going to be Nikki, and I'm going to be terrified. So yeah, I can maybe I want to push the button on that for a little while. Push the pause button on that, and we don't want that to come around. Hanzo, thank you so much for the kind donation. Really appreciate that. Hey, folks, Wyndham is 100% the Sicks member. He's the leader. Hence why Howdy picks up the lantern from the chair. No Wyatt Sicks without Bray or / Wyndham. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Very true. Yeah, that's the lantern is a symbol. Very, he's there. And like I said, and now Bo is in this room saying my life.
The way they someone is always carrying it, like you can just tell it's so special to them. I love the way they're doing that. Either Nikki or Uncle Howdy is the way they carry that lantern. You can tell.
I've got a cool question for both of you concerning the lantern thing. Remember when, of course, with Undertaker in the urn, right? And how he somehow got a little of his power and stuff from the urn. Like, what if they kind of had something similar to, like, would you guys want to see, like, let's say, or is this like kind of, nah, I really don't want to do this because it seems maybe it's a little tasteless, but would you guys want to see like a wrestler at some point in time, like grab that lantern, like being outside of the thing, like Chad Gable being a goof, going over and saying, all right, you know, this is so special to you guys, blah, blah, blah. And then he grabs that lantern and takes it away or does something with it. Now, obviously, if it's a strict tribute to Bray, then that's kind of off limits, right? The kind of off limits. But we remember when things would happen with that lantern, and it was like, that being there was the mythos of the Undertaker, would be kind of where he got his powers from. And so, of course, that would pry into the supernatural a little bit more, and maybe just through Howdy, right? Maybe just through Howdy, because obviously we see with this, my life for you, I'm devoting my life to you. But yeah, what would you guys think about that if someone was kind of messed around with the stuff that they had sitting out there? Because one of these times they're going to bring that out, and maybe Bo will be wrestling and he'll be in the ring, and there may not be anyone out there. Maybe Nikki might be out there or something like that, but there could come a time when someone goes near that and he's not necessarily around. So I'll let Chris. I'll let you comment on it.
I don't know. I don't think I like that, just because that's like you said, it's a touchy subject. I don't know if I love that, just because Bray's no longer with us. I don't know. Obviously I liked it when the whole Undertaker thing got to go, but it wasn't tied to someone that died either.
That's true.
So I don't know. I don't think I would like that.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Great point. Tazzy? Tazzy, you're muted, my friend.
My bad. It was a lot of
That's all
dog
good.
barking. I didn't want to.
Good.
Well, this is the same company that actually did something with the Iron with CM Punk. So, is it possible? Can he do this? Yeah, definitely can. But I don't think it's going to be tasteless for them to do it. They're going to do it in a way where it's respectful. I can see that. So, probably not damaging it or anything like that. Just I'll take this. It's probably more like that.
Could even maybe somebody try to go for it at some point, right? Like maybe during the match, Gable's outside the ring and he tries to go and grab it. And then maybe at that point, Nikki is in the middle of the aisle and he doesn't see her and she stands there and stops him from
that would be a great time for a Nikki Spider Walk to stop him. Did you know remember when Bray used to do that? People would just stop.
Yes. See, I'm bringing up my own demise here, man. Oh, man. All right, cool. So, let's see if anybody else has any questions out here. I think I might have missed Ivy Nile looks mean. That's all about the thing. Well, so, all right. So we know we got the video clip. And where do you guys both see this going next, right? So we had all the clips about the wrestlers and stuff like that. They're all done. Now we got this little clip of maybe what could be some sort of transformation with Bo. And like Chris said, taking on the Howdy character again. And who knows, maybe he'll transform back and forth and go back to just Bo or Taylor. And then maybe he'll go back to he'll go back to Howdy and let Howdy kind of, and obviously with Howdy saying, there you are. So when we get that, it's almost like he maybe takes over Taylor's body. So where do you think, what do you think is going to happen next? Like, where do you see the story going coming up? Now, I know we talked about the next pay-per-view, but let's just talk about maybe next week on Raw. Where would you see this going next week? Obviously, we would think Chad Gable would be back on the show next week. So where do you guys see this going? And I'll start with Chris.
I want to bring up something that C Wrestling talked about in his Things You Can't Miss. You might have missed video. Shout out to C.
Yeah.
So there was right after Howdy said, "There you are," there was a brief image that flashed up of Brody Lee's Bludgeon Brothers mask
that's right.
Rowan has on the back of his mask. Yeah. And I'm wondering, he talked about it, and it's been out there for a long time now that there was two trademarks filed, Uncle Harper and Uncle Howdy. So could that be what that was teasing? Are we going to see an Uncle Harper? Is somebody going to don that mask like we did? Or maybe it's another side of Rowan. Maybe he's going to flip that mask around and wear that side of it out and be Uncle Harper. I don't know. So I feel like that could have been a tease. It's talking about big things are coming, another door being open, and they showed that image for a reason. That image was put on there for a reason. So was that teasing Uncle Harper?
And to your point, I mean, that could be a good point also, because if we're talking about this group kind of going on their own separate ways, and doing the wrestling, right? Then we were talking about Loomis and Gacy being a tag team on last week's show. Mm-hmm. If that's the case, then where does that leave Rowan, right? Where does that leave him? Is he just going to be outside the ring? Is he going to be a manager kind of type guy? But maybe, Chris, to your point, maybe Rowan is going to transform into another character and into Uncle Harper. And maybe he could kind of be a multiple personality as well, have his own mask that he wears, obviously down to the ring. But then all of a sudden that mask turns around and he becomes Uncle Harper. Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. If there was anybody that was going to be doing it, it'd be perfect to be him.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. And that would be obviously him always tributizing Brody and his friend, 100%. Tazzy, what you got?
That's actually really funny, because I was literally about to ask him, like, who would you have as Uncle Harper? Because the only person can do is Rowan. The only that knows them. I mean, the only person other person that could actually do it is Strowman, but he don't want to be in part of this. But other than that, you that storyline, that character has to be somebody that knows those people. You can't have people that that's outside. I mean, like the whole Joe Gacy and all of them, they're fine because they're doing characters that's technically, they're not actual people. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the only person that actually could do that. As for what's coming up next, yeah, I could definitely see a for mixed tag. Even though we already have one on the show, I think already on for Bash in Berlin. But why not? Hey, let's have two. And then continue the storyline, and probably the final part of the storyline will be at Bad Blood, which is perfect, by the way, for a name, Bad Blood. I miss that name, by the way.
Yeah.
The Bad Blood pay-per-view. If you guys don't know, Bad Blood was where the original Hell in a Cell match was at. So stay tuned for that one too. Yeah, that's probably gonna see. So Bash in Berlin and then Bad Blood. Do we have my question to you guys, do you just do a normal match between Uncle Howdy and Chad Gable, or do you do something else?
I didn't realize that, Tazzy. So was that the match that you were at when Bray was in the cage?
Uh-huh.
Though I didn't even know that. That makes tons of sense now, even more, because now you're well. Here was what I would do, and Chris, obviously, get your opinion after that. What I would do with this is then I would redo that match. I would have the two of them in a cage to make it right, to show everybody how, you know what. And again, this plays into the story of Bo going out there. My life for you. I'm going to avenge everything that turned around on you, and I'm going to make it right. So putting him and Chad in a cage, and now you're under the new regime, so we know that we're not going to get anything stupid or hokey or anything like that that's going to make it look like it's silly. You're going to get a much different thing and a much different outcome. What if part of Howdy is going out there and going to not only just, tributize his brother, but let's say in a way he's going to avenge some of the things that looked bad, some of the stuff that people kind of didn't like, and maybe we're going to get that. So that's fantastic. I love that idea, Tazzy. Chris, what do you think?
I love that idea too, and I feel like we're already seeing some of that. I mean, look at some of the things that I feel like they've already turned around, just like we were just talking about not overusing them. We're seeing that. We've seen a bunch of things that I feel like it's not quite so supernatural. A lot of people complained about that. Like, we're already seeing some hints of that. So I really like that idea of going that route. And we've already heard that they did away with the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view as a name. So where else would it makes sense to see it at Bad Blood, considering that's where it debuted at. And there's already been rumors that it's going to be CM Punk versus Drew in Hell in a Cell. Yep. Well, you're probably not going to have just one Hell in a Cell match that night. You might, Cell's going to be there, so it makes sense to use it for more than one match.
Right.
A perfect match to do it with, especially with all that involved. So yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome, man. Jeff says, I think you attempt a normal match on Raw and then up the ante at a PLE and add a stipulation.
Maybe the rest of them get involved and cause qualification, and that way you could set up the 6 or 8 person match with the rest of them, and then separate Howdy and Gable as a one-on-one match.
Could also be a bit like Tazzy mentioned earlier. That could also be how then they move forward to Survivor Series. After that, because now you got the two leaders fighting, and then all the groups outside are fighting outside the cage. And now how do you solve that? Well, we bring that. So for the people who were saying, and I don't think a lot of people in our chat were saying it, but a lot of people out on Twitter were saying, oh, they're done with Gable. I don't know. I think Chris was right. And I think Jeff said as well last week that this is going to continue. I think that this is just getting started. And
there's some crazy reason Gable can't let it go. So
Right? That's his own dumb fault, you know? I mean, listen, man, you probably should step away or run away while you can. But he's just, you know, he just keeps bringing it up and bringing it up and bringing it up to the point of where, you know, Bo has to go and consult with his own thoughts in his little fun house there and bring some more viciousness out of him. But man, I love that. I think that's fantastic. And I'm sure a lot of people in chat would like to see that too. You know, we've had two, you know, listen, we can all remember, right? The one things where the little things occurred that made us kind of be like, I don't know about this, right? Like, I don't know. Hey, listen, you know, Mr. Goldberg's been saying he wants another match out of retirement. So, you know, maybe they fix that somewhere down the line too. You know, because I kind of have the feeling the current regime would not allow him to go over against Bo in a match if that ever happened. So who knows? Maybe we get a little of that revenge too somewhere down the line. But I think that'd be cool, man. Because look, Bray when he was here, he always kind of had revenge stories, right? Revenge lines that he would do and things like that. I just think that, you know, if Bo is going to do that and you know, doing all this stuff for him, then you would think that there's a burning fire inside of him saying, I got to right some wrongs. I think
that's why we need to see Uncle Howdy versus Randy Orton at some point.
I would almost think you're right. Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, that's for Mania next year.
I was just going to say that.
I would think so. It would just make sense. Because again, if you know he's going on that little bit of a revenge tour now and stuff like that, it would absolutely just make sense. Michael King says, not a red steel cage, old school cage. Yeah, I don't. We're done with the red. We're not going to get the red lights anymore. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So
it's too much red paint.
Yeah.
I don't think too.
Yeah, it is, and that a lot of fans did complain about that, saying that it was hard to see the matches and stuff. So no, we won't get that. It'll just be inside of the cage. Craig says Judgment Day would be good for War Games, but Judgment Day has too many storylines going. Unless most of those, I don't think that would work because it's just too small, right? You only have 2 against the whole group. So I don't know how that would work unless those 2 would kind of get a whole bunch of other people on their side. So I don't kind of think that would work at this point, unless they start to separate again and get some other people. But I don't know. I would think at War Games, to me, if they're going to have, you know, now I don't know, they might just go with a men's and a women's War Games match. The men's one could also be something with the bloodline if they're going to go that route.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously that could happen there, but who knows? You know, they might change things up. They might have more than one, maybe men's match and more than one women. Who knows? They're changing.
Or it doesn't necessarily have to be in War Games. Maybe there'll be some other traditional Survivor Series matches.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people I've seen have been asking for that, so that would be a good way to satisfy everyone. Do a War Games match, but then do some traditional Survivor Series matches too.
Yep.
I'm loving this already.
We need to be bookers,
right? That's that Jeff, the TNA was guru rubbing off on everybody here. Zeke says we also need Uncle Howdy versus Demon Finn because we always wanted the Fiend. Yeah, everybody wanted to see the Fiend versus. Yeah. I'm sure that'll. Well, we know
right now he just stabbed Damian Priest in the back.
Right, and you could see how his heel persona is back. So that could definitely be a thing.
He's in it for a while. They had that little demon lunchbox sitting up there in the Judgment Day's hangout for a while.
Yeah, you could tell how he's back to that old like Finn, where you know when he wrestled Bray, obviously he was a good guy at that point. He was the face at that time. So now he's back to his old shenanigans. So that would be awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of people would love to see that.
The other thing with Finn, the only problem with the Finn thing is he is not doing the demon character as a heel. That's the only problem. Because he's already a demon because he's already the heel. So. Yeah, this Finn Balor is basically the Finn Balor that we saw when the last time he was in NXT, which is insane.
Yeah. All right, well, we're gonna wrap it up here with our final thoughts and stuff, and how we think of it. So, final thoughts from both of you guys, and I want to hear from you. And I'll start with Tazzy. So, Tazzy, how do you think? We always ask this question. I know Jeff's asked it on a lot of the shows. how are you feeling about how the direction of this is going so far? And what do you think we're going to get coming up next?
This is awesome. You know why? Because it is patience. There's a lot of patience involved in this, and it's a slow burn throughout the whole thing. Nothing's rushed. Nothing's screwing up the storyline. They're not adding weird stuff to it.
Mm-hmm.
Hint, hint. Seth Rollins in the middle. No, let me stop.
Yeah.
I like the pace. I like the pace. It's good. Like there is a. You ready for this? A long-term storytelling is involved in this, and I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun for the people that's impatient. Be patient.
Yep. Listen, I again, I'm going to sound like a broken record because I say the same thing on this show week after week. I tip my cap to all of the writers, the backstage, and the wrestlers, of course, themselves. I think they're doing a fantastic job with this. If you also noticed, the Twitter's gotten a little quiet. They're not sharing as much on the Twitter anymore. And I'm okay with that too. I like that they use it, and I like that things get stuck up there. But when something starts to get a little more serious, maybe kind of back off that a little bit and make it a little more mysterious. But I have no complaints about any of this. I love what they're doing. We all got like the Shatter theme last week, which was like the most talked about thing out there. And then this week we get just a video. And I know, like Chris mentioned at the top of the show, you're always going to have your people out there that are going to complain and moan and gripe. Oh, there was just a video. Why wasn't there more? Why wasn't there more? Listen, a big part of wrestling, guys, is keep them wanting more. Have them always wanting more to tune in to the next week and the next week and the next week. So never give them too much. And yeah, so I'm fine with what we got. It wasn't like there was nothing on the show. And I'm fine with it's all storyline progression. And I think everything is working out really well so far. And I like the little cryptic videos and all that kind of stuff too. Listen, there were many weeks when Bray was in the Funhouse and we would just get a Funhouse. We wouldn't get anything else. We would just get the little cryptic stuff that was going on in there. And I'm perfectly fine with it. And I'm perfectly fine with the way they're going. And I'm excited to see what comes next. Chris, finish it out with you.
And also, it's a balancing act too. I mean, think how much we got last week. We got a match and 2 videos from them last week. So it makes sense that we'd only get 1 video. It's got to balance out.
Yeah,
we got a 100%. Ton of stuff last week, so we don't get as much this week,
Yep.
But my final thoughts are, I'm loving this, and the thing I'll tell you that I'm loving the most, and especially these last couple weeks, is how much we're talking about Bray. Like here it is, we're coming up on almost a year since we lost Bray, and Bray is still the last couple weeks been on our TV screens. Like who would have thought that? And how awesome is that? Like I love it. I miss him so much, and it's so cool that we're still getting to see Bray on Monday Night Raw.
Yep, absolutely, 100%. I totally agree with that. Yeah, I mean, it's such a wonderful thing that this is happening. None of us really expected it until we got that thing from Bo at the end of Bray's video saying that with the little tease, and then everybody got excited. And look, yeah, man, it's something to be excited about for Bray fans and to keep his memory alive like we're doing right here on this show every single week. So awesome. Great stuff. All right, guys. Well, listen, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Fireflies Forever. Hoping that Jeff feels better and that he gets back here next Monday for the show. And obviously, again, like I had mentioned before, we have Thursday night TNA coming up. So don't forget to join us for that. That'll be 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for TNA. If you haven't already done so and you're new to the channel, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you drop a like on the video for tonight. And also share the video if you can, or if you would like to do that too, that helps us out as well. All right, guys. So from all of us to all of you, have a great rest of your night. Stay safe out there. Be kind to one another always. And hopefully we will see you all for the next one for Fireflies Forever. Don't forget, guys, NXT over on Tazzy's channel. Make sure you go check that out. Tazzy, do you have anything else coming up?
Yeah, tonight we, of course, for NXT, What will Wesley say?
Oh man.
That was good. I was so caught off guard, but I did not expect it.
He's got some splaining to do.
Yeah.
Let me say this. Let me say this. I didn't know I needed a Wesley heel turn, but I want it so bad right now. It's gonna be so much fun. And we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here one more day on Friday because I actually have a day off during the week. It's shocking.
Nice.
Friday. So what will Roman saying on Friday?
Yeah, I can't wait to hear him actually speak.
Right.
Yeah. So that's intriguing. And then we're gonna be off next week because guys, make sure you guys say a prayer for Shane. He might have to have surgery again. So make sure you guys say a prayer for him. Yeah, we're gonna be off next week because you're somebody in the show. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah. Keep him in your thoughts and prayers, everybody. Absolutely. All right, guys, that is going to do it. Have a great rest of your night, like I said, and hopefully we'll see you all on Thursday for TNA Wrestling. Take care, everybody. Good night.